Welcome back to season 3 of What's the Vibe with Katie and Amy. It's 2024.
Crazy.
We survived our first year of doing a podcast. We stuck through it.
What month did we start in January?
January, yes.
Okay.
So we are coming up to a year, which is really, I believe it, but also I don't.
Yeah. It's so fun. I do have fun doing it. I still think we've yet to hit perfection, but we get better and better and better all the time. So
we do. I went through and did a little recap on what we put out last year. And I want to know, how many videos do you think we taped and put out? Patreon, public, because it was more than I thought.
54?
Oh.
Is that exactly right?
45. Oh. So kind of. You have the numbers.
I should have flipped it. 45 videos.
45. Yeah. 45 videos starting as These Nuts podcast a year ago. Oh. Isn't that crazy?
Rebranded. What's the vibe?
We lived several lives through this podcast.
Yep. That's true.
We have. I was going back to see our top episodes, which I'll tell you in just a second which ones they were. But it's so funny to see how we started out on that little couch. Hideous set is what I'm going to call it. Yeah. And then we moved here. And then some videos were great, and we were on the couch again, or a different couch. And then we moved to the table. Some videos were just our neck, head up. Some you couldn't hear our sound. So I feel like we've changed. We've gotten a lot better.
Oh, I know. Little baby podcasters. Gotta start somewhere.
But also the first season makes me feel, it's kind of nostalgic. Just go back and watch some of the videos. I turned it on last night just to have it playing in the background, and it's that was actually a really good episode. I'm proud of us.
I'll put it on in my car sometimes, and I'll crack up, re-crack up.
Us. Literally, you're not even, it's something you've already heard.
Said sometimes.
Yes. Okay, what about views on YouTube?
How many?
Total?
No guess.
No guess?
No guess.
Just over 4,000 views on YouTube.
Okay.
I know. I thought it was going to be closer to 2 because I knew we had the one video to get a big jump in views. Yeah. But then over 800 plays on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Our Spotify needs a little more love.
Yes.
Is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
But do you want to guess what our top 2 episodes were?
The
Murdaws.
And then Drew's episode.
That's it. Yes.
The Von Erichs.
Top 2. People love murder and wrestling, apparently.
Yeah. 2 of my favorite things.
Are they?
Kind of, yeah.
In a way.
I thought you had some more stats. I was just sitting here thinking, while you're sharing that, we'll do that again next year. And we're going to be like, can you believe we were so excited about that number?
Yes, we should.
Oh.
Yes, okay, I need everybody to help pump our numbers up this year. What's done is done for 2023. But now is our chance to go right back up. So that would be really cool if we could even just see a small increase, but what if they could double?
Yes.
Yes, or please. Triple. Quadruple.
Wow.
One thing that we talked about, and I know you just mentioned it, the Ironclaw movie came out. Have you been to see it yet?
I want to so bad.
I have not been yet, but I know that you're going to love what I'm about to say. We probably won't go see it in theaters realistically, but I know they're going to put it on HBO Max.
Oh, I do
and
love
I know
that.
You love HBO Max as much as I do. There's no date, because I was looking it up last night, because I was like, when is this coming out? I want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. It looks
Zac
so
Efron,
good.
Jeremy Allen White's out there right now in the world, and everybody's loving on him, so I'm ready to watch it, but I can't wait for it to come out. So, if you've watched it, please comment below.
Go back and rewatch that episode that we did
Yes!
about the Von Erich family with Drew Samuels.
Ooh. Do you have anything significant that sticks out to you from 2023, whether it's podcast related or anything? I know you bought a house.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of
that was
say the top moments.
Oh man.
You were so excited for
I checked a life goal off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So obviously I'm kind of getting emotional thinking about it, but yeah, so in September I finally closed on my house, moved into my house. But then in October, Star had her brain surgery. Right. So, I mean, I just had an intense few weeks right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what really sticks out to me for sure. Like this roller coaster. Like I need to be hospitalized right now. This is too much.
You really, and then trying to absorb your Reiki in between it all. You're like, somebody help me process.
Yeah, I need all the Reiki healers in the world to gather around me.
It's a Reiki train.
I am starting to feel better mentally and physically, emotionally.
That's good.
But it was a lot. What about you? What was your big one?
I don't think that I have anything big personally for me that sticks out. I think probably the biggest thing that is the podcast for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have much of a social life outside of this, and I don't feel like anything crazy significant has happened, good or bad.
That's good. That's a good thing.
It is.
I want to calm here.
It is. But I do have some like hot stories from 2023.
Okay. Just
topics. We talked about the submersible. That was a really big deal in 2023.
Yes.
Season 2, go back and watch episode 5 if you want to hear all about the submersible, if you were living under a rock in 2023.
If you were living under the ocean in 2023, go watch that episode now.
Maybe you have some insight.
Seriously.
Comment below on that episode. Taylor and Swift and Beyonce both broke records with their tours and their tour films.
Oh.
Which we talked about Taylor Swift as well. I think that was in the first season.
Yes.
Barbie.
Oh, the Barbie movie
was huge, which I know we both finally did get to watch it before the end of the year.
I loved it.
I did too.
I loved it.
I really did. I didn't realize some of these things were in 2023, like Lisa Marie Presley passed away in 2023.
Wow.
I thought it was before that.
Me too.
There was aliens. It was announced that aliens have been confirmed on Earth.
Yeah. Katie, can I talk right here?
Yes, you can.
Let's just get this alien stuff out of the way.
I want to know what you're talking about because when you sent this to me earlier, just a very brief snippet, I was like, what aliens?
I have my TikTok feed is exploding with news about Tampa, Florida. And you've not seen this. I want to say New Year's Day or maybe the 2nd. There was a large police presence at Tampa, Florida around the Tampa Mall.
Okay.
It shows an overhead view. Katie, it looks like every cop in the state is there.
What?
They're lined up for miles all around the mall. Flights were grounded. Radio.
How have I not heard about this?
Scanner signal was lost. People listening on the scanner to hear what was going on. Scanner feed was cut.
What?
Witnesses have said, okay, I'll give you 2 witness accounts.
Okay.
The first witness account that I saw said he saw these kids in the mall. He was on like the 2nd tier and he could see them down below playing teenage, like tweens.
Okay.
And he said he saw one of them had something in their hand that he best described as a Discman. Like, Discman? What is this, 1989?
Right.
Okay.
Nobody. Okay, yes, continue.
And he started spinning it. And as it started spinning, flames started shooting out of it. And a ring started forming.
What?
That kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then something stepped out of it.
Stop! Okay.
And this something didn't have hands or feet, but had like arms and legs and was almost shadowy or hologram looking. And it seemed to be able to teleport because it moved very slowly, but then would disappear and would reappear closer to you.
What?
Okay, that's one account.
Okay.
And so people started calling 911. There's literally a monster coming through a portal at the mall. Okay.
This sounds like a movie so far.
Yeah. Another report said that she didn't see the portal incident, but she saw the creature.
Described it similarly?
8 to 10 feet tall, hologrammy looking, almost like you could see through it. It moved very slow, but would disappear and reappear closer to you.
I would, that was, you said roughly New Year's Day or Eve, so about a week ago.
Yeah.
There has to have been a statement released by police.
Well, you would think, but they stopped everybody leaving the mall and made them delete all of their pictures and
No.
Yes. And they said that the reason why there were so many police cars there that evening is because kids were inside the mall fighting with sticks. And they had firecrackers. I'm sorry, you don't shut down the city and bring miles and miles and miles for police cars for a teenage fight.
Right.
So.
Okay, I'm going to have to look this up. You know I believe in aliens.
It's 2024. They're walking through the portals now.
Oh gosh, I wish I would have heard this story a little while ago before I came up with my predictions.
Oh.
Well, because now I have a new one. Okay, put yourself into that person's shoes at the mall. If you saw that, I know you can't even, you don't know what you would do, but what would you think? What do you think you would do? Like, I'd be like, take me with you!
I think I'd be like, oh. Like, I'd Homer Simpson it into the
Yes!
the plant behind me, we are one now.
Okay, that's fair. Making people delete video off, how are they going to make a person do that?
Okay,
how would
the
they
government
know?
is very powerful. There were FBI agents. There were, yes!
I am going to look into this.
Please.
I will.
Please.
But right now, my brain is not accepting it. It sounds like a made-up story or something
they all
you
do.
see.
They all sound made up until it's not. Oh.
This was in Florida?
Tampa, Florida.
Florida.
I know that is our first warning sign. I don't know, but I believe it.
Do you?
I believe it. I didn't like the descriptions of these creatures. I did not like the description. The seemed like they had no bones. It seemed like they were fluid.
Okay.
It seemed like their heads could turn all the way around.
Okay, now I feel like you're just making up additional characteristics about them. They were green and purple with blue polka dots.
They were all named Katie. It was crazy. No, everything was fact until the Katie part.
No, I've not heard that, but I will be looking that up. And I will be adding something to my 24 prediction bingo card about aliens.
No kidding.
What else happened in 2023? Obviously, the Murdoch case went crazy. What about, do you remember the news article that went viral about a China zoo who released a picture of a bear and everybody thought it was a man?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Kind of.
I saved a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you? I mean, I don't know. They say it's not a man. They say that is a bear. And you've done enough stories on animals.
I do think it's a
It's
bear.
enough men, apparently.
But look at its posture and everything.
It's like its back.
Yeah.
Looks too
straight.
Right, yes.
Its spine is human.
I don't know. That was a top story in 2023, and I saw that and I was like, yeah, I do remember that, and I'm still unsure if I believe them or not.
That's a bear.
We talked a little bit about this at work the other day, the Gwyneth Paltrow ski lawsuit.
Yes.
Because what was she doing? She was skiing down a mountain and crashed into somebody.
Yeah.
So he sued her, which as he should. I would sue a single idiot. If you have $200, I'm gonna sue you for crashing into me on a mountain.
I want half of it.
So that was popular. Did you know that Ariana Grande is dating SpongeBob SquarePants?
Yes.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
That, I think, might be one of my favorite celebrity facts from 2023. Oh. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting that comes to you?
2023.
What else?
I feel like I didn't even just live this year. It was
Matthew Perry, Jeremy Renner. I put AKA superhero because apparently I don't know which one he is.
Jeremy Renner passed.
He had a snowplow accident.
Oh.
He's still alive.
Summer moves get started.
Yeah. Yes. But that's pretty much all I have on 2023. So a couple of days ago, I asked you to come up with some predictions. What do you think is going to happen in 2024? I see these all the time on TikTok. Mm-hmm. So we came up with some thoughts. I know our pictures will be kind of small, but I'm going to make them bigger. Mm-hmm. And what we think.
Okay, maybe we can talk through kind of the whys or something. You want to go first?
I'm going to reveal just one of mine.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay. My first one that I'm going to share, mine are very broad. Okay, and I'll explain what that means. So this is a picture of like natural disasters, but also a sick person.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I think something big, either something as bad is going to happen with the water, like our water supply, or another COVID-like illness is going to come out of the woodwork. AI could create a natural disaster, not a natural disaster, but
an unnatural.
Sort of, unnatural. Shut down all our computers or like,
okay, something bad is scary.
So I don't know what it is, but I think it'll be significant enough to change, like COVID changed the way we live.
Yes, I think you're onto something there. It has been, I was just texting with Star last night, and I can't remember what we were saying. Hang on, let me just look really quick.
Please do.
It's related, kind of. Oh, I know what. I was telling her about the monsters in Florida.
That's it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe the monsters take over.
And I said, my ancestors didn't have to deal with monsters and aliens. You know what I mean? It's such a weird time to be alive.
That is true.
I mean, I was alive in the 70s, 80s, 90s, current day. And it just seemed like everything was real smooth sailing until it wasn't.
I really feel like your generation has experienced so much from growing up with what's internet, what's a computer, to now we just monsters and AI.
Yeah, we just had to keep up, and we have done it
for the most part.
Fair.
For the most part.
Fair. Yeah. And Star said, imagine your ancestors finding an iPhone.
Right.
I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. So this is, I think you might be onto something. There's more to come.
Yeah, there is. There really is. Now that you've told me the alien story, I think that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Okay.
Maybe it's not directly these aliens or monsters coming out of the woodwork or anything.
Literally.
But something is going to happen.
Okay, let's see what my first 2024 prediction is.
Cohesive relationships with aliens. Well, it's not like us to be so opposite.
I think that because they did say, even though they looked gelatinous and see-through and had a 360 head, they were not aggressive. So I think the merge is about to happen.
Oh, you're going to call it a merge.
I'm going to call it a merge.
A merge.
By the end of this year, we'll start to at least see the beginnings of a merge with alien life.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know that it's going to be as friendly as you think it will be.
Oh, I hope so.
I think some of us could try to make it friendly, and maybe even the aliens make it friendly. But I feel like so many people out in the world are too aggressive.
True.
So
they're going to present themselves like puppies, so that everybody loves a puppy.
That's smart of them,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
If you're an alien pretending to be a puppy, please comment below.
My new dog.
Are you trying to tell us something?
I'll tell you later.
Okay, my next one.
Okay.
Miss Kim Kardashian. I think by the end of 2024, Kim Kardashian is going to break her silence on the Taylor Swift feud.
Oh.
She's going to have to.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to ask her. She's going to have to say something.
Ooh, she better be careful.
I think that she's going to blame everything on Kanye and try to be friends with Taylor.
That's a solid prediction. That's a good one.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what I got next.
Okay.
I don't remember what this one is. Oh. The Biebers will call it quits.
Stop! So that's not on my board, but I told you I had a couple of extras.
Oh, okay.
I also think that the Biebers are going to call it quits or have a baby.
You got to pick one.
You're
Katie.
leaning towards breakup?
It's over. It's over.
What was it? Her decision or his?
It's his decision.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's not how I expected.
I think they'll release a joint statement, and that'll be that. But ultimately, he's got his citizenship now. He can leave.
Interesting. Okay, that's a good take on it. Okay, I agree. Something's going to happen with the Biebers.
Okay.
Which one do I want to show you now? I don't know if I want to say who.
I hope the choices aren't just me and you.
They're not.
Okay.
But there are 3 famous people that I expect to pass away this year.
Okay.
And part of me wants to tell you who they are, but part of me also doesn't feel good about putting that out into the world.
Oh, I know. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Okay, so for the good of the podcast.
Yes. Who do you think we're going to lose this year?
The first one, Mitch McConnell.
Stop it.
I cannot.
He's our favorite Jeff.
I know. So we'll have to use it even more.
Okay.
In the spirit of Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Oh, I'm going to miss you, Bruce.
Me too.
Yeah, I love
That'll
Bruce
be a
Willis.
sad one. Even worse, Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
He's very old. I was trying to think of a nice way to say that, but to put it plain and simple, the man's old.
So I'm just playing the odds here.
Right. I picked the oldest celebrity that I could find, and it was Morgan Freeman. Just kidding. That's not true. But
Bruce, Mitch, and Morgan.
I'm going to see how old Morgan Freeman is.
Okay, please.
Yes. I don't know why. Well, okay, Mitch McConnell, I think the GIF speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce Willis, we know, is going through some battles.
Health problems, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, Morgan Freeman is 86 years old.
Okay.
So, I don't know. That's just a prediction.
All right, well, let me give you my next one.
Okay. Stop!
I, too, think we will lose Mitch McConnell this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I went in this order, because I was like, well, let me just match that right up. Mitch, God love you, you turtley faced angel. But
that's one way to put it.
Well, we're gonna miss, but we will still make you our confused GIF any chance we get.
Yes, never forget Mitch McConnell.
Never forget the confusion on Mitch McConnell's face.
Okay, what's next? I bet you have this too. Taylor and Travis.
Will.
So I told you mine are broad.
Okay.
So I've got two sides here.
Okay.
Obviously, one of them is they're going to be engaged.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be drastic. I've seen some people say they're going to have a baby, or she's going to get pregnant immediately, or they're going to get married. But I don't think that. I think they're either going to get engaged, or they will break up, but they'll be friends, which Taylor Swift does not really have any exes that she's friends with. So I could see them being very civil.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Okay. I don't have Taylor on my bingo
You
card.
don't?
No, I don't. Let's see what I have next. Ariana Grande will be hospitalized. I'm sorry. It's what I predict.
Is it because people think she's an alien?
They'll call it exhaustion, but it's malnutrition or substance issues.
Oh.
Sorry, Ariana. The vibes aren't vibing lately.
They're really not.
I question your decision making.
I mean, after SpongeBob, yeah.
Yeah. And just every time I see her, she's smaller and smaller. And I'm not body shaming anybody. I go the opposite way. But your body can only sustain so much. So I think she's going to be hospitalized this year.
Okay, that's a good one. That is a good one. Pick.
Oh, let's see that top one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, broad. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to put 2 sticky notes apparently on here. This is my friend Ozempic.
Okay. What's going on with Ozempic?
I think, again, something big's going to happen with Ozempic. Either everybody is going to suddenly stop taking Ozempic. I don't know, maybe it'll come out that it's causing people to have diseases, or something negative is going to come out. And then every single person that was famous and endorsing Ozempic, I think they're all going to gain double the weight back.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like there's going to be like, it's not going to be like a big deal, but it's going to be out there. Like, Ozempic's not really what we thought it was, sort of thing.
I could see that.
So,
all right, I'll let you choose.
let's go this one.
All right, let's see what's under here. Oh, we're going to get in the best shape of our lives.
Not using Ozempic.
Not using Ozempic. We are on a health journey. We haven't shared that yet.
Yes.
Honestly, I was surprised that you recognized me when I got here today, because I weighed myself and I'm down 2 more pounds.
Shut up.
It's me, Jessica. I'm in here.
Yes.
So, not really doing anything except for just being mindful and water. And I'm going to try to incorporate some movement next week into my routine, but
it's hard when you're not used to it. But I feel like we're making steps.
Yeah, and I've said it now on camera, so a little extra accountability.
Yes, that's a good way to look at it too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right, I guess let's see that one. Northie.
Northie. First of all, can I just say, I love Northwest. Mm-hmm. She is not afraid to tell people how it is. She is sassy. She's humble, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I think she's going to come out with, some people are saying an album. I don't necessarily think it's going to be an album. Maybe like an app. Okay. Or like a clothing line. Or like she's going to get into the business somehow. Okay. Maybe she starts acting or something. Mm-hmm. But I think she's like, this is going to be her. It's going to be Northwest year.
I could see it. All right, let's see what my final one is here. I forget even. Oh, yes, this is another one. Our podcast is going to gain some significant traction this year.
Oh, that was my last one. What's the vibe atop of the podcast charts?
We are manifesting right now.
We really are. We are speaking it into existence.
Oh, that's amazing.
We are right up there with the Kelsey brothers in New Heights. Oh. Alex Earl. the Crime Junkie podcast.
Oh.
So I think we can do it.
Going on our vision board right now.
Yes.
I love it. Well, not right now, because
this is more important.
Yeah, we have other stuff to do right now.
How are we going to get our podcast to the top of the charts?
Let's take it serious. So, do you have a vibe this week?
I am always bringing the vibes.
Other than 2024, that's the vibe for sure.
The vibe, yes.
I was so ready to be. I've been saying I can't wait till the 23 is over for months.
For a new year.
Man, it's like a little reset. That's what I call it on Sunday when I clean up my house. Or
Sunday reset?
Uh-huh.
Yes. As you should.
Yeah, like I'm just resetting the stuff back where I can find it so I can lose it tomorrow.
That's what all of the influencers call it.
That's probably where I got it then.
Why shouldn't you call it? We are influencers.
That's right.
I do have a vibe. I'm sorry, my computer is being a little crazy, but my vibe this week is new beginnings.
Yes.
It's a new year. Why not? It's freedom.
Yes.
The vibe is privacy.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe is big stories.
I like all these vibes.
The vibe is racy comments on Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, have you been following me again? I thought I blocked you.
One day I'm going to tell the story about the Facebook. It's not going to be today.
Oh, okay.
In your comments about being a cougar. No, I'm going to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Like the rest of the world?
Like the rest of the world.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
So, obviously, we know Gypsy just got released. She's been out for, maybe 10 days now, I think.
Did she get out New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
Oh, I thought she got out on, the 28th of December.
Okay,
maybe.
Like that. Maybe.
I do have it in here, so when I get to it.
Okay, less than a month.
Yes. Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I am going to divulge as many details as I could find, but also we know in the next 100 years, the rest of Gypsy's life, she is going to be coming out with more, and she's going to be sharing more details. So I can only imagine how much crazier this story gets, but I'm going to start at Gypsy's birth, because this is that's when this abuse started.
Abuse.
So Gypsy was born in 1991. So for perspective, for me, she's the same age as my husband. For you, she's the same age as your son, right?
Yeah. 27, 94. No, older than Gabe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's born in 94.
Oh, okay.
So just a few years.
Just a couple. But she was born to DD and Rod Blanchard. And I told you that I was watching a Lifetime special, which I'll talk more about at the end earlier today, but I didn't really realize the extent of her relationship with her dad versus with her mom and what they had together or what they didn't. So, to my understanding, Rod and Dee Dee were together for 3 months. He was 17. She was 21. No, she said she was 21, but she was actually 23.
Gross. That's a crime right
there. That's enough.
Ugh.
Then Dee Dee gets married, or gets pregnant 3 months in, and Rod said it only felt right in the time to get married. That's what you did. If you got pregnant, you were married and you had your family.
In the 90s, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certainly people that did not.
Right.
But he had some morals. He wanted to do the right thing.
So he said that, Gypsy was born and they were together for a little while. And he said, I don't love this person that I'm with. I'm just trying to do this to do the right thing, and this isn't the right thing. So that's why they got a divorce. He didn't love her. And so when that happened, I think Dee Dee had a lot of very ill feelings towards him. And instead of having a husband, she tried to use Gypsy as that replacement. Gypsy was 3 months old when Dee Dee would first tell people that she had sleep apnea. And that's where it all started. Which, I'm sorry, can a 3-month-old even have sleep apnea?
I'm not a pediatrician, but I'd want to see I'd want to go to the doctor. If I was the parent living out of the home, I'd be like, sleep apnea? They could stop breathing and die. Like, what specialist are we going? I want to go too.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it's so easy to judge hindsight, but what a mess.
So the other thing that I saw, and I couldn't figure out his actual occupation or his job, but her dad would be away for a month doing whatever job he does. It was in Rhode Island, so it seemed like something to do with the water maybe. And then he would come home for a month, and then he would go back. So he wasn't always near her, but he did say, she said that she had that and she's got this machine. Who was I not to believe? Of
course,
her?
Yeah.
And so that was the first time that they really put Gypsy into like this medically frail beginning. And at the time, Dee Dee and Gypsy actually lived with Dee Dee's father. And Amy, we have to talk about Dee Dee's dad.
Yeah.
I did not understand. This man was in the documentary.
Oh.
Or he was in the first episode and a half that I saw. And I think Dee Dee's issues have been handed down to her.
That says a lot.
Her mom. So in the documentary that I watched, it had Gypsy, obviously. They started this documentary the night before she went to her parole hearing. Okay. But so in the documentary was Gypsy's uncle, Dee Dee's brother. Okay. Gypsy's cousin, which was also Dee Dee's cousin, and then Gypsy's father. And then like people on her dad's side of the family. But they were saying, Dee Dee's family was saying like her mom, when Dee Dee's mom was alive, Dee Dee had a heart murmur. She wouldn't let her go outside. She wouldn't let her do roughhouse with the other kids, which probably for good reason. But that is what Dee Dee was taught. So that's what Dee Dee knew.
Being frail and being extra loved.
She was always the sick one.
I mean, I don't know if there's different degrees of heart murmurs or not, but I've known people with heart murmurs that
live a normal life.
Yeah, live a completely normal life. They might have to take an antibiotic before a dental appointment.
Right. They're not being hidden and kept in their homes and not allowed to have social lives.
Play with their brothers and sisters.
Yeah. So that was already like a history that Dee Dee had experienced. So when I heard that, it made me, I feel like I understood a little bit more about,
the psychology kind of.
Yeah, behind it, to where she would even start to think of some of these things. But Gypsy's grandfather, Dee Dee's dad, said that when they came to live there, she brought a monitor. And if the monitor went off in the middle of the night, you had to go and wake Gypsy up, and then you could go back to sleep. So I was a little confused because how could the monitor be going off if she doesn't actually have sleep apnea?
Yeah.
But that was like, they were saying that like their first signs. Mm-hmm. And then as Gypsy became 3 years old, 4 years old, I think everybody has seen her eyes. Mm-hmm. She had a very lazy eye. Mm-hmm. And so that just helped Dee Dee even more to be like,
she's blind.
Proof. Yeah.
There's something else.
Right. So throughout the years, I put together a small list of the things that Gypsy was diagnosed with, quote unquote. Dee Dee would state that she had muscular dystrophy, which is why she used the wheelchair. She would even have doctors perform a muscle biopsy on her. God. Which came back negative for muscular dystrophy. But of course that didn't matter. She still had it. seizures, hearing and vision problems, leukemia, an oxygen tank, feeding tube, and cerebral palsy. Dee Dee went so far with the cerebral palsy. She would put Orajel all over Gypsy's gums to make her drool like a cerebral palsy patient, to show the doctors that it was so bad that they had to surgically remove her salivary glands.
That's the one that pisses me off the most.
Why would you want your, first of all, anybody else, but your baby child, to have to go through
something so
procedures
wrong
like that? By the time Gypsy was in 2nd grade, she was removed from school. Dee Dee said that her reasoning for moving her from school was she thought that the school wouldn't give her medication as she needed it, which they probably wouldn't have because she didn't need it.
Oh my God.
There was a time when, now Gypsy's in a wheelchair, and Dee Dee's saying that she has all of these diseases and illnesses and things like that. She's still living at home with her dad and now stepmom. And her dad told a story about one time Dee Dee went to run to the store. They had some friends over and some family, and there were kids jumping on the trampoline. Gypsy said, "Grandpa, can I jump on the trampoline?" He said, "Yeah, go for it." Dee Dee pulls back up while she is jumping on the trampoline, and Gypsy sees her and just hits the ground. Like, my mom saw me jumping. I'm going to be in big trouble now. She would take her in the house, and she wouldn't be allowed to come out for the rest of the day. Everybody else outside playing and being with family. And so, like, her family knew she didn't need that wheelchair. We just watched her jump on the trampoline. But it seemed to me like everybody was scared of Dee Dee. Even the grown adults.
Wow.
Based on the way they were telling stories and things that they witnessed they experienced with her.
It's so weird that the state never stepped in. No doctors called Child Protective Services. No family members called Child Protective Services. The school,
right?
Gypsy was failed a lot.
So there is a doctor in the documentary that I watched, or the episode that I watched, and you could see the expressions on his face that he feels terrible. And he did call the state.
Okay.
And they showed up one time, separated the two of them, and were questioning each of them. And Gypsy said they never came back. They just stopped in once, and that was the end of it. And the doctor went back and told Dee Dee, "I just want you to know I'm the one that called the state. I have concerns based off of what you're telling me and the history I've seen with Gypsy." And Dee Dee wheeled her right out of that doctor's office and did not go back. But I think that same doctor said at the same time he had suspicions but never suspected Munchausen. But he did seem to express like he was truly sorry that he didn't step in more than what he did. Something else that I thought was kind of interesting that I didn't know, which you may or may not know, is that while they were living with with Dee Dee's parents, there was one day when Grandpa was there with Gypsy and said, "Hey, that's the medicine that my mom puts in Grandma's dinner." And she was pointing to a bottle of Roundup weed killer. And he was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, that is Grandma's medicine that Mom puts in her food," or whatever. And Dee Dee was slowly poisoning her stepmom because she thought she was trying to replace the person, or her mom. Which, the dynamic in Dee Dee's family alone, you have to get on there and watch how they speak, how they talk about each other. because at first I was like, wow, these all seem like very loving, but then it like takes a turn. It's just weird. You have to watch it.
Okay.
So once Dee Dee is caught using the Roundup weed killer, they kick them both out.
Oh my
God.
I would too. I have to for my safety. I would have to. I would call the cops.
But also, how do you do that when, I mean, you've got grandkids. Mm-mm. If it was your child and your grandchild who is medically frail and ill to what you believe, have to kick them both out, it's like, whose life is more important? You know what I mean? That would be so
terrible.
Hard.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
So they ended up moving a couple of towns away. Didn't really tell anybody where they were going. And just kind of lived off of public assistance and child support. And right now it's about 2005, which is when Hurricane Katrina hits. And I guess based off of what Gypsy said, they leave their house for a little while and they go to stay in a shelter while the storm hits. And then they come back about a month later and the place truly is just gone. Like, there's hardly anything left of it. So, I mean, they don't have anything now. They've got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they end up in Missouri. Somebody lines it up to where they can get lifelined out there. And they have private helicopter ride several states away. And I can't remember. I just lost the name of it. But they get her into a hospital in Missouri, and then they find a house.
Yeah. Mm.
She's got Gypsy, and Gypsy's sick. Of course, this is going to capture the attention of everybody in this town. A mother and her very sick daughter escaping a hurricane. So that's when they start getting donations, and people are bringing them gifts, and almost immediately Habitat for Humanity custom builds them a home that's handicap accessible, and like all of these things that they didn't even need.
So now we can be mad at Dee Dee for something else, because that's some resources that could have gone
to a truly
disabled child.
Yes. I didn't know. I'm kind of curious on how they did this, but Gypsy said that anytime there was like a like Make-A-Wish type of program, she would apply almost every single time. They had so many trips to Walt Disney World. They had several meet and greets with Miranda Lambert. They were going just everywhere, doing everything.
I've seen video and footage of that. It's crazy.
Of which one?
Of both.
Oh, really?
Meeting Miranda Lambert and being at Disney World. There's one video that I saw where she sings a song. Oh, girl.
I've not seen that. Gypsy sings a song?
Uh-huh. Oh, if you like my music stylings, you've got to check out Gypsy's. I cannot remember what she sings, but it's some sort of like ode of like how wonderful somebody is, and she's like singing it to her mother. Oh. Yeah. Oh gosh. Go look on TikTok, you'll find it.
Maybe I'll put that on my 2024 vision.
Gypsy on the top.
Releases an album.
Yep. Top of the charts.
She does a song with Miranda Lambert.
Yes.
Okay, so now they are permanently living in Missouri. They've kind of settled in. They don't have any of their belongings, so now is the perfect time for Dee Dee to start making up their entire story. Now they don't have any family near them. They don't have Dee Dee's dad close by. They have nobody. They're just unknown. So not only does she continue to lie about her illnesses, but now she's starting to lie about her age.
Oh, Lord.
One doctor said that he'd been treating and seeing Gypsy for a while when a nurse pointed out, have you seen her birthday? And they started to get all the documents that Dee Dee had provided or anything that they had shared. And her birthday was the same except for the year. It would be 91, then it'd be 93, then it'd be 95. She was even lying to Gypsy. On her 18th birthday, her dad, Rod, called, said, hey, I want to talk to Gypsy. He did try to keep in touch as much as possible with her, and Dee Dee just made it seem like he was abusive and toxic and just anything bad. And Dee Dee said, no, she doesn't know it's her birthday, and we're not going to tell her. He's like, what do you mean? She's like, no. As it turns out, she told Gypsy she was turning 14.
Oh my gosh. She's messing with her mind, her body, everything.
Everything. I mean, from the day she was born, or probably the day that he said, I want a divorce, and that was all that she had. But Gypsy, I keep wanting to switch their names. Gypsy said that about a year later, she found her Medicaid card, her real Medicaid card, and it had her birthday on there.
Oh.
And she knew how old she really was. And right around the same time, Gypsy, please, starts using a laptop in secret. And her mom got her this laptop, but she said that her mom thought she was going on websites like Barbie and Disney Kids and Dress Up Your Dolls. And
she thought she was going to keep her a little kid forever when those hormones are brewing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so what does Gypsy do? Immediately, she said, the very first thing I did was make a secret Facebook account. And then she's got access to the internet, so she's researching, well, I take this medicine, or mom says I've got this disease, or this and this, and she's slowly starting to learn these things, which, side note, I really would have expected Gypsy Rose to have, like, poor speaking capabilities and just not be mentally where she should be for a 30-year-old. Right. But in these episodes that I'm watching, she's very well spoken. She seems like she's been educated. She holds herself really well, which I was just impressed by, because her mom, I mean, what's she been doing to her all this time? How has she pulled her out of school?
Yeah. Oh, that is impressive.
So I was very impressed by that. But in the meantime, something that Gypsy and her mom do is go to these, I'm going to call them Comicons. They're not Comicons, but they're social events where people dress up as, I don't know if they were into superheroes or comic books or princesses, whatever. And that's where Gypsy really feels like she can be whatever she wants to be. And she's not the girl that's sick, and she's a princess, or she's whoever. But at one of these events she runs into a guy. She said she actually accidentally ran into him. They excused themselves and went separate ways. And later he found her secret Facebook. And they start writing.
If he wanted to, he would, ladies.
Exactly. No, you think no, yes, he will.
Find my secret Facebook.
Dedication. Yes. But they start talking, and at the time is when she's being told that that she was being told she's 14. She said that this man was 36 years old, which
gross.
I did not know that. This was a separate man from who she was eventually arrested with.
Okay.
But they talked about running away together, and they talked about this being a fairy tale and her not having to live with Dee Dee. Not Dee Dee dying or anybody. Like, this was going to be just a normal thing. She's
just a normal runoff with a teenager.
Right. So I was kind of disappointed. I obviously know the story, but where I was watching the documentary, that's where it stopped.
Oh no!
So I can't wait to get back into it. Okay. But I do know, and I think a lot of people know, that she eventually gets caught and Dee Dee brings her home and chains her, holds her to a bed for, I think, I don't know if I have it in here, 2 weeks or something like that.
Can you freaking imagine?
No. And that's kind of where Dee Dee, I feel like that was the turning point for Gypsy, because Dee Dee flat out said, "You're not going to have a happy ending. You're not going to have any. This is your life. This is all it's going to be." Sort of deal.
What the hell is wrong with this woman?
A lot. A lot.
Oh my gosh.
So Gypsy just kind of goes back into her shell, and she kind of lets things settle, because she does love her mom, and she understands that things aren't supposed to be like this, but she also knows that why mess this up, sort of like this is all she has. So it was kind of like a catch-22 for her.
And she's got to feel so trapped, because she's been to doctors, a bunch of them.
Right.
She's been to, CPS has come and gone. Like, she has to feel like, I better just go with the grain here.
Yeah, and she did say something kind of similar, because she said that when she was preparing to face the parole board, that she was worried that they were going to ask, "Why didn't you just say something? Why didn't you tell anybody? Why didn't you just stand up and walk away out of your wheelchair? Why?" And she said that it was very important for her, but she also was nervous about how she was going to say, I thought somebody would recognize this. I thought somebody would save me, a doctor, Child Protective Services, a neighbor, my dad, and something to where
you felt just hopeless.
Yes. So now it is 2011, and things are kind of settled a little bit. Same thing. She's still going through treatments for illnesses and diseases that she doesn't have. Dee Dee is still manipulating her and everyone around her. But Gypsy's still using her computer in the middle of the night. And now she's on a Christian singles website because she wants a fairy tale. She wants to find a man that is going to rescue her from her evil mother and live happily ever after.
Yes. Don't we all?
Was that too much to ask? So she meets Nicholas, who I think everybody knows ends up being arrested with her. But I didn't know that Nicholas had a criminal history.
No, what was it?
Before meeting her. 1 second.
I didn't know that either.
For indecent exposure.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. What? Yes.
No, thank you.
He's like, who was that? The chief of police in that other story I was telling?
Just standing here with my wiener out. Wonder what the story is behind his indecent.
Well, I also read that he is autistic and has
the two are not related.
DID as well.
Oh, okay.
So I don't. Maybe
it wasn't even. It was.
Maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah, it was
maybe it was this
toddler altar that it's fine to be naked.
Right.
Okay.
So throughout, her and Nicholas start talking, and they, find that they have things in common, and they start to fall in love, or so they think. Right. And they're telling each other everything, and she's telling him, I'm not really in a wheelchair. Like, I could walk if my mom would let me, or my mom's making me do this or do this and do this. And it's crazy because almost if it would have been a different person, like you were online talking to somebody and you were like, my so-and-so is doing this, this, and this. I would almost be like, do you need me to call the police?
Right.
Not, well, I love you. Let's run away together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of odd to me, but
neither one of them had good reasoning skills.
No.
Yeah.
no. So after a while, they plan to meet. And initially, the plan is, I'm going to go to the movies with my mom. You're going to go to the movies, but we're just going to kind of bump into each other, and then we'll be friends, and we'll be boyfriend and girlfriend, and we'll live happily ever after.
I like that plan.
Yeah,
That's a great
plan.
That's
a great plan. I think it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But that plan does not happen.
Oh.
So one day, and I know there's additional details that I'm leaving out, but one day, Gypsy is away at a doctor's appointment, and she tells Nicholas beforehand, like, my mom and I are going to be away for a doctor's appointment. Come to town then.
Okay.
And so he does. And he is coming from Wisconsin is where he lives. And he waits until Gypsy and Dee Dee get home, and it's nighttime, and he's like, I'm going to go rescue Gypsy. Like, it's time. Happily ever after.
Yes. Here comes the prince.
So he comes to Gypsy's home, and she lets him in. They hang out for a little bit, and then she says, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, she's got to go.
Sometimes that happens. And in the meantime, everyone knows Nicholas goes into Dee Dee's room and stabs her several times. Dee Dee definitely does not make it. Then they take any cash that they can find around the apartment or the house, and they hit the road. They're out. They're like, this is it. Happily ever after.
And that's where the story ends. No.
In the meantime, why? I understand that Gypsy's brain probably was not fully developed, but why did she get on Dee Dee's Facebook and post, that bitch is dead?
She's an icon.
Icon behavior.
You know what? This does not have enough drama.
What's on your mind?
That bitch is dead.
But that's it. She doesn't stick around to see if anybody likes her status or comments.
Oh no, does she tag anybody?
No. But people were commenting, everything okay, Dee Dee? What's going on? Are you there?
They might have thought Dee Dee posted, like, her nemesis died or something.
Right, that's true.
Okay.
Because she didn't post it on her own Facebook.
That bitch is dead.
Yeah.
Why? If you posted that, I'd be like, are we talking about the same bitch?
About time.
No, I wouldn't immediately panic either, I don't think. I would probably call you and be like, I think you were hacked.
Right, yes.
Because I know you wouldn't post that.
So, Gypsy's gone. Gypsy and Nicholas are gone. And the neighbors and her friends and family see this, and they start reaching out. Dee Dee, everything okay? Dee Dee, what's up with that weird status?
Yeah.
Are you going through something?
Dee Dee, your page is looking awfully white trash over there.
How can we help?
Oh my goodness.
Clean it up. And obviously, Dee Dee is not in the correct state to respond.
No, you did.
I did. I'm an icon. What can I say?
You are an icon. Icon behavior. Okay, so she said nothing.
She said she really didn't feel like talking at the moment.
Got a lot on my mind.
No, she was not a lot.
Okay.
So the neighbors start going over.
Okay.
And they're knocking on the door. And one of the neighbors said, it wouldn't be uncommon for them to not answer the door if they were out for a medical appointment. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they would have to go out of state for a doctor's appointment. But Dee Dee's car was in the driveway. So that was red flag.
Yep.
After the doctor had called Child Protective Services on them, Dee Dee started putting stuff on the windows.
Oh,
so
geez.
People couldn't see in, Gypsy couldn't see out.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's just a cave. It's just a shell over there. They can't see in.
They can't tell. Like, are they home?
I do like that.
You would.
I do like that. I feel like right now I'm flipping a fishbowl.
Yeah,
neighbors are like, Amy's watching TV again.
Yes. like, okay, somebody's got to call the cops because
Yeah.
red flag, red flag, red flag. So the cops get there and they eventually get a search warrant and they get in the home. And the first thing that they see when they get in the house, wheelchair, medication, like just a ton of medical supplies, medical stuff, medicine
stuff. The stuff is around.
And they've kind of like noted that in their mind, and then they find Dee Dee. And now they're like, okay, here's Gypsy's stuff, her wheelchair, her medicine, her clothes. Where's Gypsy?
Oh.
And I think, from what I understand, they believe that she didn't make it. Like, that she was maybe abducted, and because she doesn't have access to her medicine, how's she going to live?
Right.
Well,
she's
her
not
sick.
That's her life-saving medicine.
Right.
They've abducted her and she doesn't have it.
It's probably the aliens.
Maybe.
Are they in a cohesive relationship? So they start to talk to the neighbors. And luckily, Gypsy made friends with one of her neighbors. She looked up to her like an older sister, even though I think Gypsy was older than her.
Oh.
But she got to have boyfriends, and she got to have friends, and she got to do all the things Gypsy wanted to do.
Gosh, so sad.
So that was, she was like a role model for Gypsy. Well, luckily that neighbor had printouts of Nicholas and was like, hey, Gypsy told me that she has this secret Facebook and that she is in a relationship with this guy right here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this is related. I don't know what, but I know that they wanted to be together. And obviously the police are not wasting time. They're like, first lead, let's go.
Give us that paper.
Right. And they head almost immediately up to the house that he lived in Wisconsin. They open the door and there's Gypsy.
Oh my God.
Fine.
On two legs.
Walking.
Okay.
Hair slowly starting to grow back.
Wow. That had to be a shocker.
So I didn't really read into I don't even remember this case being like crazy public or anything. Like, I was telling my mom yesterday that the Casey Anthony and Kaylee Anthony story was the first big news story that I ever remember learning about growing up.
Yeah.
I don't remember this one.
Really? I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of information on like what their trial looked like or anything like that. But obviously they were both arrested. And that
I think Gypsy pled.
She didn't.
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah.
I do have that. I just don't have like. I know there were some details that she shared, like during the trial and things like that I don't know. They did both get arrested, and that's when neighbors and family and everybody is like, "This girl is not sick," and they start understanding that Dee Dee was the one that was sick.
Oh my gosh.
Gypsy was initially held on a $1 million bond, and it's kind of crazy, but I can imagine that everybody in the community was always so sympathetic for Gypsy because she was sick. Mm-hmm. And now things have kind of changed, and everybody's still sympathetic for Gypsy. Yeah. Not because she's sick, but because she was abused. Yeah. Mm. But so in 2015, Gypsy accepted a plea bargain and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Nicholas had to face additional charges. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole, and then an additional 25 years for armed criminal action. I don't know.
I don't remember an armed criminal action.
I don't either, but that's what I read.
Unless that's from the stabbing.
Okay, maybe.
Huh.
But I did read that police were a lot harder, or not police, the courts were a lot harder on him because they saw him as the leader, or, I mean, he was the one that initiated everything. Sad. well, sadly, because Dee Dee was still a person, nobody mourned her. Nobody in her family held any type of service for her. You know what they did with her ashes. I can't imagine having a family member that you're that detached from when they pass.
I know. That is so sad.
Especially when they pass in such a horrific way.
I don't know what to make of that. It's insane. I have family members that are not perfect. I'm not perfect.
Right.
But I would still grieve them.
In some way.
Yeah. And I would hope there are at least some people that would grieve me.
Right. There are.
Yeah. Just as like there are for you. So I can't imagine. But I also, I say I'm not perfect, but then again, I've never intentionally hurt my child.
That is also fair.
Like physically tortured
my
child. She physically, mentally, emotionally, in every way tortured
her.
The person that she's supposed to love and take care of and protect. It's insane.
Yeah. It's really hard to kind of like wrap your mind around every aspect. Like how to feel, like how do you feel? How are you supposed to feel for Dee Dee? Like to be murdered in such a horrific way, but then also to have done so much harm to a person.
I also don't know where I exactly stand and feel about Nick. Should he have life plus 25 years? He is autistic. He's got some mental challenges. He's got some psychological issues. He's got, was it just the perfect storm? He probably would have never killed somebody if he hadn't been in that situation.
Yeah, that is
so.
True.
I don't know.
I would like. It doesn't have to be nearly as extensive because this was her entire life, but a very, very, very tiny portion of his. I would like to hear his thoughts on everything as well when it comes to Gypsy and him being arrested and being sentenced and serving more time than her. Because probably my favorite thing that I've seen about Gypsy so far is she will say, what I did was wrong. Nobody should ever, ever have to do that. And nobody should ever have to be put in that situation. I did my time. And now I'm going to go on. Like, she admits she knows what she did was wrong. Like, does he feel that same way? Or does he feel like Dee Dee got what she deserved? Like, Gypsy has never once seemed to express, like, that's what she gets.
I do think she loved it, but it's complicated.
Yeah. So, the other thing that Gypsy shared in the first 2 episodes that I watched that was so sad when you think about it is she was in this home that she lived in for the first 20 years of her life was a prison. And when she finally was released from that prison of her life, she said that one of her happiest memories ever is getting to prison, the real prison, and getting to go out to the picnic tables.
Wow.
She said that was just one of her happiest memories. She said, I'm free. I know I'm in a controlled environment, but I can say what I want. I can eat what I want. I can do what I want. She gained 14 pounds her first year in jail. Most people, when they get arrested and they're going to jail, they lose weight because they're not used to eating the type of food that they allow in jails and prisons.
She was no longer being forced to be tube fed Ensures or whatever she was pouring in there. And Dee Dee was a fluffy woman. Like, it's fine. I'm a fluffy woman.
Right.
But how could you sit there and just eat fried chicken and put tube food in your daughter? Disgusting.
Have you seen old pictures of Dee Dee?
No.
I can't wait. Either look them up or watch, if you are able to watch this when this comes out, because she looked so different when Gypsy was born. She looked So she was much skinnier.
Mm-hmm.
She was still a bigger lady, but like you said, nobody's judging here.
No, yeah, we're just describing the physical appearance.
But she just looked like she took care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the more recent pictures, I'll say, like in the 2000s and 2011 and 10, she looked like she was pouring all of herself into Gypsy.
Very frumpy,
yes,
very like dated, very.
I saw pictures where she had really long hair and she had a face full of makeup, and she looked normal. I mean, not that she didn't look normal before, but I don't know. It's just.
I think you hit the nail on the head. She stopped. It was all Gypsy then, and the attention she was getting from Gypsy's sicknesses, and that was all consuming.
Yes.
Ay, ay, ay.
So I have just a little bit more, and then my vibe will be vibed out.
Vibe will have vibed.
But I wanted to share just a couple more things. On June 27th, 2022, it was announced that Gypsy married a man by the name of Ryan Anderson. We're going to come back to Ryan in a minute.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know you can't. On September 29th of 2023, it was announced and confirmed that because she had served 85% of her sentence per state law, she would be able to be released.
Welcome out, girl.
Yes, comment below, Gypsy Rose.
Welcome back, lady. Team Gypsy.
That's right. So, Ryan Anderson, when I say his name, what are your initial thoughts? And just in case Gypsy is watching, he's your man, Gypsy. I've seen her. She will block a girl if they message him.
My initial thought might surprise you.
Oh, okay.
So my initial thoughts are I like him.
Do you?
I like him. He's a teacher. You know I love a teacher.
Yes.
Man, they give so much of themselves every single day. They have big hearts. The interviews I've seen with him seem not creeper to me. You know, when you think of somebody that's like writing, I'm going to call it fan mail, just because she's a celebrity, to an incarcerated person, you think, oh, I don't know. I think the girl found her person.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm team Ryan.
Okay. I'm not anti-Ryan, but I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm team Ryan.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but there's like an uneasiness about him that I feel. And also, Gypsy has not got to have a dating life.
I know that part makes me nervous.
So, I mean, she could go out into the Tinder world or whatever.
Because she's like a celebrity now. Yeah.
She is.
But she's bringing her man with her.
She also is. She is very... I watched last night. I was like, okay, let me just YouTube any interview since she's been released. Because she's been on The View. She's been on Good Morning America. Like all kinds of things. And almost every single interview, she brings him up. She's like, yeah, I'm a wifey now. Wifey.
Oh.
Like, she's always talking about him. So she does really seem to be
in love
with him. But I don't know. There's something about him I'm just a little uneasy with.
Okay, well, we'll see. I guess time will tell. That could be one of our predictions. I'm going to say they're going to make it work, and you're saying you're nervous.
Yes. Okay. So, just so you know, the special is called The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Was initially released on Lifetime. In total, there's going to be 6 one-hour episodes. So
I've been looking for something to binge.
Yes, you have. You've been asking.
Yeah.
I've read that you can also watch it on Sling TV. So I don't know if you have that or what it looks like if you sign up for that, but
I don't think so. I'll look.
I watched it on Philo, but like I said, I had to sign up for a trial.
I have Lifetime.
Oh.
You said it was being released on Lifetime?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a Lifetime special, so maybe
I'll look.
Okay. But yeah, they cover so much more stuff that I didn't talk about. They cover Gypsy Rose having an addiction to painkillers.
Really? I mean, that makes sense.
Both before her mom passed and while she was in jail.
Oh, okay.
there was also stuff about her grandfather abusing her that I didn't mention. And that was just the first 2 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
So I can only imagine, based on the title, it seems like the episodes, she talked about the first, I'll say 15 years of her lives in the first 2, but it goes all the way up until she gets married.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see what that looks like. But they've been interviewing her for the past 18 months through phone calls while she's been in jail. And then the initial videos.
I can't wait. She deserves a peaceful, safe life.
Yes.
And I hope that's what this is what's happening for her.
I do too. I hope that, while I can understand where all of the attention is coming from and why she's getting it, I hope that things kind of simmer down, because it's always kind of been like that for her. She's never got to live like a normal life.
That can be an addiction if you're not careful.
Yes.
Like, nobody's paying attention to me.
Mm-hmm. But then I also kind of hope that one day she can like be an advocate. She can go and talk to people about what it's like to be in that position, how you can survive and how you can escape and how you can get help. And I did read that she is the first really known story as a victim of Munchausen by proxy to kill her abuser or have it arranged or participate in that.
Well, maybe because the doctors really ultimately would probably be the stopper. Mm-hmm. So maybe this will raise some awareness for them and be like, we got to report this harder.
How can we do?
Something.
Yes. That is one thing that they said too, that somebody said in the episode, how do you report a suspicion? Right. How do you say, I just have this feeling that something's not right? Yeah. So there does need to be a way that somebody can say, this is a tip. Just take it as a tip and investigate it, please, or something.
Yes. I've heard of stories. I cannot think of the names of any of these before, where babies got sick at home and they accused the mothers of Munchausen by proxy. So they removed those children from the home. And then it was later found out that they had some sort of weird disease. But yet Gypsy never got removed to see if she would get better, because she would have gotten better.
Yes. Amy, you just reminded me of a story that I saw on social media. And I don't know if this follows along the same line as what you were just talking about. But did you watch or read Dear Maya? I think it was called.
Oh, what's it called? Yes. It's called Saving Maya?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But the hospitals did that. God. Too far in the opposite direction.
Yeah. And that mom lost her life.
Yes, she did.
It's heartbreaking.
I saw that and was going to tell the story, but that is a very, very, very heartbreaking story.
The vibe is tragedy.
Yes.
It makes me sick to my stomach. It's so sad.
Yeah. So, Gypsy Rose, we wish you the best in 2024. We can't wait to see. Do you have a prediction? Please comment below. And if you want to guest star, our email is down below.
Yes, Gypsy.
Oh, that would be so
We'll put you right here, the margarita girl.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so.
All right, well, thank you so much we did a long one today. Thanks for sticking till the end. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and watch for the next episode of What's the Vibe with Katie and Amy. Action. Hi, welcome back to What's the Vibe with Katie and Amy, Season 4.
Season 3.